5 years ago, I reviewed the film adaptation of The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And, well, a couple of years back, 2.5 years back, I reviewed its sequel, Prince Caspian. Both of those were good. But what about the third film, which happens to be celebrating its 15th anniversary today? Well, just prepare yourselves as I review The Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Big Days Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. I'm the Big D, and this time around, I bring to you a review of the 2010 high fantasy adventure flick, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, released by Fox along with Walden Media, the first and only film in the series not to be released through Disney. But Disney would, however, eventually own the rights to all films after its acquisition of 21st Century Fox in 2019. Directed by Michael Apted, and with a screenplay by Christopher Marcus, Stephen McFeely, and Michael Petroni, it's based on C.S. Lewis's 1952 novel of that same name, and the third published and fifth chronological novel in the Chronicles of Narnia series. It's a follow-up to Prince Caspian and the final installment of the theatrical film series. The film was actually released on this day in the US on December 10th, 2010. Henceforth, today is the film's 15th anniversary, from which it premiered the day prior in the UK and a little over a week and a half made its premiere at the Royal Film Performance. Now, some of the previous cast members return and some new ones as well. It focuses on the two youngest Pevensie siblings, Edmund and Lucy, who are transported back to Narnia along with their cousin Eustace Scrubb. And they join Caspian, who is now the new king of Narnia, in his quest to rescue 7 lost lords and save Narnia from a corrupt and evil on a dark island. And each character is tested as they journey to the home of Aslan at the world's far end. Now, this film kind of got mostly mixed reviews, even though it was a modest success. But I'll tell you more about it later. If you haven't seen my reviews of the first two films, you can check it out by clicking on that card there, and it'll take you to a new playlist I just now created, just in case you might have missed The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and Prince Caspian, or if you want to see them again. I'm very pleased that my review of Prince Caspian did well than I had anticipated, getting over 200 views. Okay, that about covers it. Let's get into the story. 3 Narnian years after the events of Prince Caspian, Edmund and Lucy are staying with their irritating cousin Eustace, while their older siblings Peter and Susan are in America as World War II rages on. To his chagrin, Edmund is too young to enlist in His Majesty's armed forces. A painting of a ship on the ocean transports Edmund, Lucy, and Eustace into an ocean in Narnia. They are rescued by the Dawn Treader. Caspian invites them on a voyage to rescue the 7 lords of Narnia, whom his uncle Miraz exiled. In the Lone Islands, Caspian and Edmund are imprisoned, and Lucy and Eustace are sold as slaves. Caspian meets one of the lost lords, who reveals that unsold slaves are sacrificed to a green mist. The crew of the Dawn Treader rescues Caspian and the others. Caspian outlawed the slave trade and appointed the Lord Governor. The Lord gives Caspian his sword, one of the 7 given to the lords by Aslan. On another island, Lucy is abducted by invisible dufflepuds who force her to enter the manor of the magician Coryakin to find a visibility spell. Coryakin encourages the crew to defeat the mist by laying the Lord's swords at Aslan's table on Ramandu's island. but warns they will be tested. Envious of Susan, Lucy recites a beautiful incantation she finds and hears a dream in which she is Susan and neither Lucy nor Narnia exist. Aslan chides Lucy for her self doubt, explaining that her siblings know of Narnia only because of her. At a third island, another sword is recovered from a pool that turns anything it touches into gold. Wandering alone, Eustace finds a cursed treasure and steals some of it. Edmund and Caspian search for Eustace and discover the remains of another of the lords recovering his sword. They encounter a dragon, which turns out to be Eustace transformed by the treasure's curse. Rippy befriends Eustace, who has a change of heart and becomes useful to the crew. The crew arrives at Aslan's table to find three lost lords in enchanted sleep. As they place the swords on the table, they realize one is missing. A star descends from the sky and transforms into Ramandu's daughter, Liliandel. She guides them to the Dark Island, the lair of the Mist, where they discover the last lord. The Mist uses Edmund's fear to create a sea serpent that attacks the ship. Eustace fights the serpent, but the panicked lord wounds him with a last sword, causing him to fly away. He encounters Aslan, who transforms him back into a boy for his self-sacrifice and sends him to Ramandu's island with the last sword. As the crew fights the serpent, the Mist distracts Edmund by appearing as Jadis, the White Witch. Eustace reaches the table, but the Mist tries to stop him from putting the sword on the table with the others. He overcomes the Mist, allowing the sword to unleash their magic power and bestow on Edmund, using Pier's sword, the power to slay the sea serpent, the death of which awakens the three lords. Now, for the rest of the story and ending, stop this video at once. Go to the description box below, fast forward the time below. As I count down now, if you've seen this already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. The mist of the Dark Island is destroyed when they liberate the sacrificed slaves. Eustace rejoins the others, and they sail to a mysterious shore before a massive wave. Aslan appears, telling them that his country lies beyond. Although if they go there, they can never return. Caspian's duty as king dissuades him from following his wish to enter Aslan's country, but Reepicheep is determined to enter. Aslan blesses him, and he bids farewell to the others. Aslan tells Edmund and Lucy that, like Peter and Susan, they are now too old to return to Narnia. He tells Eustace that he may return one day and encourages them to know him in their world by another name. He opens a portal for them to return to the present world. The three are transported back into the bedroom, where Eustace hears his mother announcing that Jill Pole has come to visit him. As they leave the bedroom, they look sadly back at the pain and see the ship voyaging through the waves disappear before Lucy closes the door. End of story. So what did I think of the Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader? Well, I've only seen this as much as I've seen Prince Caspian. I think I've seen this twice. I am going to say the film's fine and what have you. It's just that it was a big disappointment we didn't see too much of the elder ones. I may not have read the the books though, but I am going to say that this film's not too bad. However, William Moseley, who played Peter, and Anna Popplewell, who played Susan, actually did have cameos. The same thing with Tilda Swinton as the White Witch. So, anyway, yeah. Even the stepson of C.S. Lewis, Douglas Gresham, actually made a cameo in this as a slave buyer, which that was really something. But anyway, upon its release, the film was a moderate success at the box office, making 415 million worldwide on its 140 to 155 million dollar budget, becoming Fox's highest grossing film in 2010, which of course was the studio's 75th anniversary that year. But anyway, now there was to be an adaptation of the Silver Chair, which was to be the fourth entry in the film series. But however, unfortunately, Walden Media's contract with the C.S. Lewis estate expired. The series would instead be rebooted. Now it was to be continued with it being at TriStar at Sony, but it didn't happen. But now, of course, a new reboot's coming out from Netflix. Greg Gerwig is going to take on the role, and she's been hired to write and direct at least two Narnia films for Netflix. So I'm wishing them the best of luck, and they are going to start the with the magician's nephew, which I think that's pretty reasonable enough. Upon its release, unlike the previous two films, this one kind of got mixed in my view. It's at 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, where they say its leisurely business-like pace won't win the franchise many new fans, but Voyage of the Dawn Treader restores some of the Narnia franchise's lost luster with strong performances and impressive special effects. Yes, now that I do like. Now, Metacritic has a score of 53%, and CinemaScope polls, well, connected during the opening weekend, revealed the average grade CinemaGoers gave the film an A minus on A plus to F scale. The Chicago Sun-Times said this is a rip-snoring adventure fantasy for families, especially the younger members who are not insistent on continuity. The Orlando Sentinel gave it a decent review, saying it is a worthy challenger to the far more popular Harry Potter pictures, and The Guardian said that the film arrives with confidence and bravado intact, and arguably the most Tolkien-esque of the Narnia books. IGN was positive as well, saying that the film is a solid sequel that might even surpass the first entry as the best in the series for some fans. It also bodes well for the future of this once iffy franchise. Well, yes and no, but I will say I feel like it still has its flaws though. It can I think it kind of comes in a draw with Prince Caspian for me since I've only seen it like twice. But I really preferred Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe because I like that even more. Despite the movie adaptation of the book to appeal to the everyman, not just the Christian audiences and Lewis fans, with the introduction of the search for the Seven Swords side plot, the continued reoccurrence of the White Queen, and the larger role of the dragon uses, Christian reviewers found much to like about this movie and what have you. Several film critics have praised the direction in character development and Poulter's performance as Eustace. Yes, this, and I'm referring to Will Poulter, this was one of his early performances and what have you. I'm just going to say that this film proved to be pretty fair and what have you. I wouldn't say it's the best. I still prefer The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. For the cast, we have Skandar Keynes once again playing Edmund. He's still pretty good in my view. He's much more mature after the events of the previous film. Georgie Henley returns as Lucy, and I've got to say she's good like before as well. I think she's absolutely good. Now, playing Eustace is Will Poulter. Of course, this was one of his earlier films, as a matter of fact. Yes, this was actually his second film. Now, of course, more recently, of course, after this, he went on to appear in films like We're the Millers and The Maze Runner, as well as the third film, The Death Cure, Midsommar, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Death of a Unicorn, and more recently, Warfare. Well, I've got to say he's pretty good in this. Now, we have Ben Barnes back as the now King Caspian, who is really good. Simon Pegg voices Reepicheep. I've got to say, this is a pretty good character. And we have Liam Neeson once again reprising his role as the voice of Aslan. Very good. And Laura Brent played Liliandil, who I thought was pretty good. The rest of the cast not too bad. So the casting characters are absolutely really good. But now for the music, David Arnold does the score, and I think it's pretty good. It also has a song too, which this is kind of going to bring me to a slight negative and what have you. It's a song called "There's a Place for Us." Unfortunately, it's performed by a certain singer who shall remain nameless because I don't want to cause any trouble or controversy or what have you. You know what I'm saying, people? It even got nominated for a Best Original Song at the 68 Golden Globe Awards, but lost. No, I better not say it. Again, I don't want to cause controversy and what have you. I still prefer that if once now that Disney Plus has it, I wish they could have replaced it with the British version because now in the British release, they actually had someone else do the song, but I can't be entirely sure who did that. Unfortunately, I wish I could find it. However, I've got to say it's really good. Now, apparently, David Arnold, this wasn't his first time to work with director Michael Apted, as he had recently worked with him on doing the scores for films like three other films: The World Is Not Enough, Amazing Grace, and Enough. Now, unfortunately, it seems my source has failed to mention who actually did it in the other release. Sorry, everyone. I wish I could find it. If I happen to encounter it, I will listen to it. Maybe I would listen to it while the credits are scrolling. But anyway, I'd say the Voyage of the Dawn Treader, it's not too bad. I mean, well, it's good. I mean, it's got a good cast and great characters. The story's fine. It's just that I could have just used a little more good feel to it. But I still like the effects though. The music's fine. It's just that I still wish they had gone someone else to do A Place Where We Belong. And well, you know who shall remain nameless. But enough said about that. But with everything said, it's a good movie. Would I recommend it? I'd say sure, go ahead. I mean, if you liked The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and the Prince Caspian, then I think you'll enjoy this as well. So, what did you think of the Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel. You know the rest. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of Silent Night, Deadly Night 3. Better watch out. So, if you like this, check out my reviews for some of these other films. In the upper left hand corner, you can check out my review for well, possibly I would say the first film to be released during Fox's 75th anniversary the same year, and that's Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief, which was actually a pretty good film. I'm looking forward to seeing the second season of the Percy Jackson series on Disney Plus, where he tackle Sea of Monsters. Or if you would like, go to upper right hand corner, excuse me, and check out my review of the final installment of the Harry Potter series, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. And the bottom left hand corner is my recent spoiler free review of the remake of How to Train Your Dragon. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying see ya, and pardon the noise. Bye now.